first analysis. I asked you guys about a week ago how many of you have gotten robbed before, and I think it was like roughly 25% of you said you had. So hopefully the story that I talk about will hit close to home for some of you. My name's Dillon Cohen. So I'm going to start off and kind of ask a somewhat rhetorical question. How many people here have ever been threatened with a gun before? Okay, so we have some people here. I'm going to tell you guys a story about how I got robbed at gunpoint when I was attending U of A last year, and I hope that when I finish, you all will have a greater respect for your own sense of security in regards to walking around campus late at night. I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona, born and raised, and I think anyone here could tell you who's familiar with that area that it's about as safe as it gets in Arizona. So last year when I first moved down to Tucson to go to U of A, it hadn't really occurred to me that I was coming to a place where I had to be concerned about like walking around late at night and predators and a whole bunch of stuff. So this is an aerial picture right here of the U of A campus. Right down there was my dorm. It was called La Paz. And all the dorms are up along this street called Highland that ran north and south across campus. And I had a good friend who lived just off campus along that street called Highland further north. His name was Max. We'd go over there all the time, usually about a 10-15 minute walk. There wasn't much to do down there, so it was pretty much the main form of entertainment was going over to his house. Along this walk, as you get north, you pass the street called Speedway, and it's like a 6-lane kind of like major street that goes by campus, and there's an underpass at it, and then after you get out of that underpass, there's this parking garage and this dirt lot, and when you go through the dirt lot, it goes back to Highland, and that's my friend Max's house right there. So, I mean, we did this walk a lot, never had any problems. And I think this happened in November, around 10 o'clock at night. Asked my roommate Zach and my good friend Eric if they wanted to come over, and they did. So we walked over around 10 o'clock, didn't have any problems, was totally fine. Hung out for a few hours. Around 1 in the morning, we decided that we wanted to leave. And that was kind of cutting it for us because we hadn't really left that late before, but I mean, this is the boundary of campus right here. So it's like roughly a football field. It's like, you know, you're not going to think anything that bad can really happen to you in that small distance. So the three of us set out. We start to walk along Adams and down Highland, and right about when we get to right here, just past Drockman, we saw this car. This was a red pickup truck. It was driving down Maple, and it turned north up Highland and started to come to us. And, you know, we saw it coming, just thought it was a car. I mean, it literally drove right past us and then just abruptly stopped. The driver cut out the headlights, and the passenger, like, opened up his side door and, like, crept around the side of, like, the truck bed. And just, like, when this was happening, my buddy Eric was walking kind of fast, and it was probably, like, right here, when my roommate and I were, like, right there. So just from, like, where he was standing, he kind of had a view of this just all kind of, like, unfolding, and he just took off running. So he literally, I mean, gone. Usain Bolt, like, trying to break the world record, gone. And I mean, I'm standing next to my roommate. We're right here. This driver, or the passenger, got out of the passenger door, crept around the truck bed, had like a semi-automatic pistol, something, bandana, 5'10", Hispanic guy, you know, give me your fucking money, like, I mean, you know, this happened so fast. I mean, you have no idea, like, what to think. And in this kind of situation, I mean, everyone's going to react differently. I just automatically assumed the worst. I thought we were going to get shot and have our possessions taken, that these were some gangbangers, and, you know, like, you know, I just thought that was it right there. So, you know, I was doing everything I could to try and find a situation or just find a way to get out. And what had happened was the guy had the gun pointed in our general direction, and he started to single out my roommate, and he started to really kind of focus on him. And I didn't feel like there was anyone else, like, around at the time, and I just put my hands down and ran. And I run, I'm like running through here, and this is like the scariest 10-15 seconds of my life, because I'm waiting for like a bullet to like come on my back or something, you know, I mean, it was bad. Anyway, we go back through this dirt lot.
Oh, sorry.
So now we're at this underpass right here, and on each side of the underpass, there's those blue poles that you'll kind of see around campus here that are for, you know, like emergencies, like creepy people following you, stuff like that. My friend Eric had already ran through this like tunnel, and he had like triggered the poles. So by the time I made it through, there was like an operator on the line, and so I just started screaming all this dramatic stuff so I can get help to come. You know, there's a guy on campus, he has a gun, he's gonna kill us, like help, you know, anything. And I mean, it worked because Campus PD met us on the other side of the tunnel, like right there. And basically what happened was I met up with my friend Eric. Once he heard me screaming, he stopped running. 30 seconds later, my roommate comes running towards us, and he had his possessions taken, and he had gotten like pistol whipped across the side of the head. But he was thankfully okay. And we met up with the campus police, gave them our statements. We actually had to go back to the scene of the crime because that technically happened off campus. Had to give Tucson police our statements. It was just a whole ordeal that I really don't want anyone here to ever have to endure. Yeah, so, you know, I was really traumatized, as you would expect after that happened. I wouldn't walk around campus late at night, and I always prioritized my safety into everything that I did. It was the most eye-opening experience of my life, hands down. It really showed me how much I took my own safety for granted. I really do value the experience because it helped me grow as a person. It helped me realize how quickly and miraculously your life can be put into danger if you're not careful of your own surroundings. And I hope that after hearing my story, everyone in here can hold their own safety in high regard when it comes to walking around late at night, especially around Tempe. Thank you.